Oh, so we twerking together too, yo. I did. You can do that. Yo, if I was a girl, I'd be the ugliest bitch in the club. My back is around and shit.
I am.
Ladies first. What you do in my drink?
I was just tequila.
You got?
No.
You got Coronas though.
Yeah, I got Corona.
Where the fuck is my Corona?
We live, so.
Thank you.
You live?
Yeah, we live.
We live! We live, motherfuckers! We live! Oh, I hope you brought your ears, you bitch. Yeah, look what we got on set.
And it took you 20 years to make that day.
For me, I was struggling like a motherfucker. I thought I was gonna break it. Now say is you fuck. Happy Sunday, or wherever you at, whatever day that is. Might be Saturday in Japan or something.
I think so.
Feeling good?
No, yeah, forward, right? Yeah,
ahead of us. Alright.
Ahead of us. So probably
So happy whatever fucking day
Sydney,
you on.
Australia?
Yeah, one of them. Why you say
It's
Sydney?
probably Monday in Australia.
It's Sydney, Australia is always
so.
forward, yo. They're always the first ones to have like.
No, but every
New Year's
third
Day.
Wednesday they back Monday.
Oh yeah, it's
I'm
true.
not like a motherfucker. You just believe it. Got him.
Got him.
I bet you he voted for Trump. I bet you this motherfucker voted for Trump. You just believe any goddamn.
I'm waiting for his hat to come out. America.
Now say is we got Kristina Promo on the show. Let's show us some love, fellas. Let's show us some love. So you ain't showing no love.
I showed her a shot.
You ain't showing no
She
love.
didn't
He
take
said I showed her a shot.
You alright?
And she didn't show my dog any love, yo.
She don't like those. Kristina kills dogs in the spare
That's
time.
cool. I need one of those.
Bro, I couldn't.
How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great.
Feeling good? Thank you so much for coming
Thank you
on.
very much for
We're going to,
Thank
of
you
course,
for having me.
touch on all. So before we started, we're not going to say what we talked about, but she's definitely with the shit. So if you watching now, you may be like, damn.
You said we're not gonna talk about eating ass?
Well, we're going to talk about that. If you like, yo, when they going to get into the nasty shit, the shit I like, we're going to get there, and this motherfucker is, she going to talk about it. So, but more importantly,
No.
Kristina, I've known her for a while now. We kind of grew up, and how things go, people move on in their lives, follow families and stuff like that. But I ran into you again on social media, and I was like, damn, this motherfucker is doing the damn thing with the promotion and shit. All over doing the party shit. And not only that, killing it in the academia world.
Yeah.
You have a master's degree?
Yeah.
In what?
Psychology.
God damn! So you're not just
We on the couch too. We already on the couch. So
already lay down and start talking about shit. My mama don't love me. Not just the beauty, but the brains. So I definitely want to have you on. First of all, you like family, but secondly, you really attack that notion that you can't have both.
Right.
And you obviously did,
Yes.
and you did it somewhat at the same time. It wasn't like
at the same time.
you were a scholar growing up and you were like an ugly duck. No, you was grinding out here and grinding on that side too.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the most prevalent thing that everyone knows you for, the promo.
Yes.
How did you decide to get into it?
Well, when I was modeling, basically I had a blueprint. So, you know, you can set your life on a path and life can throw it off the path, right? But it's always good to have like a blueprint. So I always said, you know, I didn't want to be like Black China, Amber Rose, no disrespect, but my goal wasn't to be like dating rappers and having babies and, you know, being a model forever, right?
Yeah.
So my goal was like, okay, I'm going to just do it because it's fun, it's extra money, and I mean, every girl likes attention, and
exposure, yeah.
if they say they don't, they lying.
Yeah,
but
they just don't get attention, so they say, I don't like it. And that's their reason not to get it.
Well, I love it. I still love it, even if I don't model. Like, I still love it. I still set thirst traps because that's what I do.
God damn, she keeping it real early. Keep it gangsters.
Christ.
I'm not
you
going
said
to
set
lie.
one right now?
Huh? What?
You said set one right now.
So everything that I do, it is a basic psychology to it. So, I mean, everything in marketing, selling your pictures, getting into magazines, because I didn't have my manager. I was my own manager. So I did everything. So I had to do the business part, the contracts part, and then show up and still be cute with my ass out, you know?
Right.
So,
Can you turn Marvin into a supermodel?
Have you seen his body? No homo.
I can see his arms.
He's in pretty
Look,
good shape.
I like guys with
Show
great
her those
arms.
country
You got
abs.
great arms. I don't need to see nothing else. The arms are great. But at the end of the day, I think it's not hard. It's all about marketing.
Our arms at least okay. Hold on. Let's get the flex. Flex, motherfucker, flex.
Your arms okay. Your arms okay.
Alright,
But his
cool.
arms are great. So
All right. So this is great.
I'm not
Are we
good.
like above par arms?
yeah, y'all good. Y'all good.
Okay,
Y'all
cool.
good. I mean, y'all all look
No, I'm
good.
fucking sure. So yeah.
So basically, I just wanted
Hard work
to
pays off.
mix everything in one, and
Yeah.
the thirst traps and me
really?
being out there, it kind of like adds to the promo because I can be out and I'm getting paid and booked to do social media promo for this because I'm out all the time. So it looks like, oh, you there? It's popping. So it works.
Pretty much, right?
Right.
You get the rub off everything.
Right.
So it's an actual method to your madness. You're not just out there posting a sexualized photo and hoping. Do you actually sit down and like look through your photos and say, okay, me knowing the psychology part of it, this one is going to resonate or increase engagement compared to this one? Or do you just like, look, I'm going to throw it's Thirsty Tuesdays.
Right, like I'm already in these slides, matter of fact.
Well, all right, so when I was doing the modeling, it was mostly ass shots and, of course, you know, it's more of the physical and the body and showing body parts and stuff like that. So when I retired, that was when I first got my first degree. Yeah, I retired.
You can't say retired.
Why not, sir? Why can't
She can say retired.
That's just a word you can't say.
Because she's a woman, she can't say that? Is that why you're saying that, sir?
Why I can't say it?
Why she can't say that?
How can you retire when you can still compete?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the truth.
Like Michael
but
Jordan
a lot of people
retired,
retire early
but he
from
didn't.
You
regular
do it so
jobs,
you go out on your
right?
terms.
And you can still work.
Jay-Z retired,
So when
but
people
he didn't.
but when people retire early, they just want to
So
probably just
you don't wanna be
retire
the last
early and
one.
enjoy their life.
You don't want to like tell you got to retire. Like, hey, you should start taking photos.
And you
Them butt cheeks are all saying, boy.
You don't want
to
Your jump shot low on,
on
dog.
top of
You don't want to
it.
get that notice in the mail like, bro, you better leave the. You're washed.
Exactly. So, and you got to remember, like, as a model, every time someone turns 18, that's somebody else competing. So it kind of got like oversaturated.
You got pushed out at 23.
And
pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it can just definitely be like that because they're gonna go for the younger and the hotter.
So let me ask you.
They're always gonna go for that.
I'm gonna go ahead to you.
I found it just paying attention to people, right?
Uh-huh.
That, and I'm just restarting the Mevo real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I found that like people can't have everything, right? So if you smart and attractive and you model and you do whatever psychology, like what do you feel like is not the part that's
You're weak.
Like does it take a toll on your relationship?
Yes, that's the downside because I mean it's secure men out here, but it's kind of hard to find them. And I won't say that they're insecure, you know, fully because I don't say I know men and I know everything about men, but I've kind of like studied and try to understand you guys more, and it kind of helped me out because now I understand myself. So I can't take anything personal.
What did you learn?
Because I learned basically like this: if you got a girl, and I mean, you can still go on Google and find my pictures, and I have done topless pictures as well because I'm proud of my body.
Well, I'm not Googling that.
But I don't mind.
I'm saying it right now. Hey, fellas, y'all didn't say nothing yet.
So,
fucking say it.
I already Googled it.
but I feel like the body is art. But a lot of men, like I can give you a story with my uncle. My uncle was like, he was at work, and he's a little younger, so it's like we're closer in age more than anything.
Right.
And he was just like, all these guys was just around the computer, and they're like, yo, look at this girl, she's so bad. And he said he got to the computer, it's me. You know? So as my uncle, he like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? So imagine if that was like my man or somebody I was talking to. Or
It's a lot to ask for.
It's a lot.
I like that.
But
that doesn't bother me.
But you are
I have met men like that. I have met a lot of men like that. And I mean, it's some eye candy models now that have, you know, marriages and boyfriends or whatever that can take that. But for the most part, no, I haven't really found that up until recently, you know. But it's still hard. Like when I go out, I know everybody, people in my face. Like they buy me drinks. Like as my man, you like you got another nigga buying you drinks, and it's like I'm not asking for it, but it's there. I'm not gonna be rude. You know, so
go get that little 13.
Oh, okay. So is there any kind of correlation? I'm sorry. You just said you want to go first. You want to jump in there real quick?
Yeah, let him go.
Let him go. We're gonna let you go.
Oh,
Mr. Strong. Sorry.
Geared up. All right. So I know you said.
So anyway, I'm sorry.
Nah. You fucking ass eating motherfucker.
Well, that's my statement.
All right. So I know as far as like the whole promotion thing and then exploiting your body to a certain degree and everything like that. So as far as like the backlash, like do you receive more hate from men? As far as like, you keep thirst trapping, but you ain't got no rap, or is it the females like that's all you have is your body and your looks?
Well, when I modeled, it was that. So now, kind of going back to this question real quick. The strategy is I don't really take back shot pictures right now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Most of my pictures is the same stance. It's from the front. And when I modeled, like I used to get a lot of likes, but now that I don't model and I'm taking straightforward pictures. And, I might have on, I still don't wear nothing because I like to be naked. I get more likes than with the regular pictures than I did with the model pictures. So at the end of the day, I got more male haters than anything, but they're probably haters because they probably like
because
me.
They just want your attention.
I'll tell you what dudes think when they look at that picture. They're like, yo, I got a fucking shot. And I'm gonna shoot
they take it every time.
I'm gonna shoot that bitch, yo.
I need an assistant to manage the DMs.
From behind the phone,
God damn.
you can shoot a shot. You don't feel bad if you don't make it in. You know what I mean? So you just shoot. You
they
shoot.
sliding all day long.
And eventually, 1,000 shots miss you like.
But I don't look at it like whether it's. I have a lot of girls that love me and they be like, I look up to you, because not only is it just the way I look, it's the school part of it. You know what I'm saying? So they like, you doing both. So they was just like, yo, you doing it, you out here, like I see you everywhere, I know your name, blah blah blah. So I get more respect from women. I get my ass grabbed from more women. And
second person said that. We had Ashley Timo on last time. She says
I
women
know
in her
she gets
shows
her ass grabbed.
they're way more aggressive than guys. What do you think?
Way more
All
aggressive.
right, that's a great segue before we touch into the academia part of it. Okay, so listen, I have a theory, right, that women of the homosexual or bisexual nature are way worse than heterosexual men. This is my theory, is based off some anecdotal evidence. Number one, I have a cousin she's a gay. That's funny. She's a gay. She's a boy gay. This motherfucker is ruthless.
And I have a cousin like that.
As men, we talk about shit like, what we gonna do? It's like man shit, right? And we're dogs. This motherfucker will fuck the girl, her sister, her mama. Don't get all of them. And like go had one paying rent, had one. And we talking about how women are more aggressive. Hold up, real quick.
Very.
Is that also irrespective of like sexuality too? Like, it's just women all the way around, not more doggish, but I feel like they don't get the rap that they deserve. Like women,
because if they do it, we're not gonna be like the Me Too movement.
Like they just come in the friend mood and grab the sleeve and shit.
It's another female. So and the girls that grab my ass, like some of them are not gay, have never been gay, or
what is that?
You know what I'm saying? But
what is that?
But it's organic for us to be flirty. Like
if you we don't have.
Exactly.
We don't want that though.
We don't want either. Yeah.
Right. But how many times have you been to the club? Like I dance with my homegirls. I be all twerking on them.
We do the same thing.
Y'all can't.
No, we do that.
No, we don't do
They
that.
twerk on each other. Not y'all.
No,
we don't.
We stand together.
Now, this is what we do real quick. All right,
y'all might like a song, but it's more impact.
We do
y'all
this.
not dancing with each other.
If I'm getting free, what you gonna do if I'm doing this?
Exactly. But
we'll hold each other. You know, like, if you freaking somebody, you ain't twerking. That's old school. Only time. That's only bad. The lean back.
I got you. It's more accepted.
But you can't rub his back.
Right, no, you can't.
That fuck your rest. You can't be like, get that shit.
No.
Like, I have nothing wrong with, like, gay, lesbians, and, all of that. But when I see two men kissing, I be like, it's still, I have to swallow it still.
What is the psychology behind that?
Right. But I'm sorry, I'm gagged a little bit.
No.
But why? Listen, why are we so cool, even her being a female, with homosexuality within the
female? If I see two girls kissing in
female?
the club, I'm like, oh, it's two bitches kissing. If I see two men, I'm gonna be like,
is that from a predated term of how society used to think from before?
Because we are soft. You guys are supposed to be masculine and tough and so when you see two men doing that, they both look
feminine,
basically. And at the end of the day, I'm Jamaican, so the way we were raised,
that's a culture.
I don't hate gay. I have a lot of gay and lesbian friends. And I may not agree, but I can't judge you on it either, though. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, I might fuck a bitch one day too. So you know what I'm saying?
So when you say fuck a bitch, do you mean penetration with your finger, your tongue, the dildo, or you mean I'm just gonna fuck with her?
I probably not. If I'm not,
because we say fuck. When we say fuck, we talking about the dick in her,
I can go fuck a real nigga.
So you mean
but at the end of the day, like
pussy?
She might bust it out on you. She might twerk better than you do.
They don't get tired.
They go.
They gonna keep going. I don't know, because I feel like most women want to explore another woman, and if they tell you that they don't, they probably lie.
Do you think you'd be better at eating pussy than Nick? Like,
so me, I would probably be a pillow princess. I would be eating. I probably won't eat no bitch though.
See, that's cheating. That's the shit we was talking about earlier, right? What the hell don't want to give it?
I'm not gonna lie.
Touch on that. All right, so real quick because we are primed and ready for nasty.
Yeah, we
are primed. I feel like we are all primed and ready to talk about eating ass, sucking pussy, dick, and all that. All right, let's make this a legit issue for another 10 minutes.
We got like
I don't think so. I think that's all hot. It's a condom in that bitch.
He just said pussy dick.
Yeah, pussy dick. Both.
Pussy slash dick. Okay.
What do you want me to say? Slash? Goddamn, keep up. We don't talk right over here. All right, so listen.
Right. Not safe for ears.
With all that you were doing with your model career, and maybe in the initial onset of it, thinking that it was a trajectory where you can complete it, right? And then you come to a point where you say, okay, fuck this. I got another plan, a plan B, be in school. Explain that to us. How hard was it? What were some of the trials and tribulations you went through dedicating yourself to get to a master's? You didn't just get a bachelor's. You got a master's in psychology. While you're still doing this, while you still have family issues and all.
We're going to give her a round of applause for that.
Another round of applause.
Master's degree in psychology. Everybody needs to know that. Like, that's a master's degree. That's not just...
Now, she got it from DeVry, and she went every other weekend. So I don't know that...
You said you went to MIT?
It was University of Phoenix, conjunction with DeVry.
Got some haters.
University.
So, like, first let me clear that up. So when you're doing, like, an online degree, it's more writing more than anything. So I started off at Morgan for, like, the first... It was 2 years that I had transferred when I transferred to Kaplan, but I was there for a few because I had a lot of family shit going on. So I had to stop going to school, work 2 jobs, and become like the dad in the house, basically. So it gave me responsibility, and I don't regret anything because I don't need no nigga to pay nothing. Like, I got it myself. But at the end of the day, why do you do that?
He likes ad-libbing. I was ad-libbing, yeah.
So, at the end of the day, it was very difficult because, I mean, if you're not in school or you're not doing your master's or you've never done it, you don't really understand. So it was a lot of times where I had to give up the hosting or I had to, like, give up this money. And me, I'm a paper chaser. Like, I love the dollar. So at the end of the day, it was kind of like, damn, I got to do this paper. I got to study, blah, blah, blah. And the master's took a lot out of me, like a lot out of me. So, but I'm going to go back for my doctorate, too. So
God damn. Make America great again.
Ladies, what that means, niggas, is you can't run no game on her.
No,
not at all.
She looking at you like, oh yeah.
Hold on. First of all, when she said she had a master's in psychology, you already should have known then that, like,
you already fucked up.
Hey, if you gonna come, you better come correct.
Yeah.
Point blank.
Period.
Okay, that's perfect segue.
Does that intimidate you?
Oh yeah, and that's something I had to deal with too. But that's not my problem. It's kind of like it helps me like weed out the weak niggas. Because what I need a weak nigga for? I'll be by myself.
I'm feeling deep right now. All right, do you feel like somewhere? All right, so you know how sometimes it mixtures, right? The red or the blue pill, right? Once you have that knowledge, it comes with a psychology degree, right? Are you always over analyzing everything, and does it affect your relationships, friendships? Because now you on a date. And shit that you would let slide, now you like, no, see, that relates to this case study. And he's showing, versus really just having fun with the moment.
Well, I'm an Aquarius anyway, so I don't know if y'all know about that. So
if you ain't a Scorpio, you ain't shit.
Whatever. But we kind of like that anyway, overanalyze and overthink.
Okay.
So that's just kind of like, and it's a gift and a curse. Like, it's great being an Aquarius, but sometimes we don't understand ourselves either. So it's kind of like we always overthinking and overanalyzing us. So, yeah, I do that, but I know how to live in the moment as well. Like, I mean, I like to party and dance and get drunk with my friends and do hood rat shit with my friends. So I'm not overanalyzing that part. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just a balance. Yeah, living my best fucking life. I'm everywhere.
For you niggas. All right, cool. So, any other questions you guys want to
so as far as the whole psychology, I mean, it could have been an array of different majors that you could have went into. So what directed you into that field to begin with?
Well, so psychology overall, because of course I didn't live like the perfect life. Like, I had people leave and go to jail. Like, my real father, I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? So he was locked up when I was 6 months. So not having your father, I don't think a lot of people understand. Like, everybody in the room grew up with their fathers. I know you did, but everybody?
He was there, but not there.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, you can't sit here and tell me, like, not having your father still don't have impact on you today, though. Right?
It's still rough.
So you can be strong and everything, but that's somebody that's a part of you. You never had that or never really experienced it. Now, I was lucky enough to have my stepfather that is basically my father, but I mean, he wasn't the best dad either or the best man. You know what I'm saying? So when you see those things, and like, I had both of them go to jail on me. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, I could have did this. I couldn't do what I wanted to do. So that here now at 32, I'm living my best life. So people like, you party all the time? Yeah, because in my like teens and 20s when you guys were like at the club, I had to work. So now it has reverted. Y'all got kids now. I don't have that. So I can do whatever the fuck I want.
But that had to like help you to like figure out how you wanted to be, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I had a strong mother, which I'm sure we all have. You know what I'm saying? So my mother was strong. Like I said, my father was always there, but the way he showed love was like financial. Like, if he take care of you, that's how he love you. He's never the one to be like, hey, he Jamaican, you know. He's not gonna be like, hey, Chris, I love you, I'm proud of you. You know. Well, neither am I technically because I was born here.
What we are not going to do is come after his culture. We will come after his name. We won't come after the Jamaican culture.
Yeah, we're not going to go after that.
But Steve ain't Jamaican. Let's say Steve.
But we know
the name Steve is Jamaican. Right? The name Steve is not a Jamaican name.
It's a lot of Steves that I know.
Give me a real
name is Steve. My godbrother named Steve. My homeboy named Steve. That's a lot of Steve.
You already got 4 or 5.
Tyreek is not a Jamaican name.
No, that's not. That's a hood name.
That's a
hood
name.
Alright, that's exactly what the fuck you are today.
Alright, okay.
So basically everything wrapped up, it kind of like got me to the point where I'm at now. Like I never wanted to be. Now I do have to find a balance because sometimes I can be too strong. Where as a woman we're supposed to be a little softer.
Say it one more time.
You know, too strong. See, look,
yeah,
I ain't gonna lie. I'm a lot, but I'm not a liar. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, women
so
are
at the end
afraid.
of the day,
Some women are afraid to actually admit that sometimes they depend too much on their independency and feel like they can.
No, I still need a man. I just don't need a man to provide for me financially. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I cut him off.
But
somebody need to make that meme. Somebody need to make that meme.
You shut the fuck up anyway. No, I like what you said, even the way you said it.
Because
say it again.
Because some women rely too much on, are dependent on the independency, so sometimes it may oversaturate a relationship with a stronghold.
The pride that comes with it.
Yeah,
like, I'm independent. It's like
because I've been told, like, the problem is
you
don't let a man feel like a man, or you don't let a man be a man. And I get that, but it's a fine line. And you guys have to find a balance, too. If you're dealing with a strong woman, then you know what you're dealing with. If you want a weak butt, then go get her.
No. I think a dude who can handle you is going to be able to, balance that shit anyway.
Oh, yeah. If y'all ever see me get married, because I'm not a big fan of marriage or even having kids. So if y'all ever see that, just know that's a real nigga that I married and got me to that point. Because right now, I'm not there.
Would you marry Ghost?
No. He a cheater.
This nigga said ghost. That's the worst example of a man
I'm
ever.
just saying.
He cheated. He killed a lot of people. He did it for his family.
Right.
He lost his daughter.
What I'm doing is psychoanalyzing her to see what a real man is.
Ghost is not psychoanalyzing somebody who's psychoanalyzing.
Ghost is he kind of shows his love and affection into like, oh, I'm gonna handle that. He's not really like that. Like he had sex on the show, but he's not in love on the show. Only with Angela. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what they had was different. I mean,
he remembers how it was before he became what
exactly.
He is today.
So now, like the way that he treats his wife, like I think I can see it because like my dad was kind of like the same way. You know, it's like he out there, he handling the business. You don't got work, you don't got to do shit. I do love you. You know what I'm saying? But me, I can never date a man like that because I know I need more than just the finance part. Because I can do that myself. Now, if a nigga want to buy me something or help me with a bill or whatever, I'm not going to say no. But I'm not going to ask either.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So we still need that compassion part. And a lot of guys that are getting money, they don't have that. That's why they probably never been in love. They just with a bitch that be like, all right, I just fucked this nigga and he just paid my bills.
You know, that's a great point. My wife, who at the time we were dating, she used to date this promoter dude out D.C. He had a lot of money, right? And that doesn't make me feel any kind of way. He was past and what they dealt with. But she was telling me some of the shit she was dealing with him having so much money and how he would treat women.
Yeah.
Now, at my fucked up, most cruddiest years, I've done some shit that some girl right now is looking like, bitch, you better not act like you an angel.
Right.
But this motherfucker first date would be like, yo, shut up, bitch. Or like, man, look. Get the food and like just real dismissive, because I guess he felt like only type of affection he had to show you was financial, like the fact that you even here with his mother.
Because when you can treat a bitch like that, you don't have no respect for
him. He was cold.
I think to your point, I think everybody has parental issues.
Yeah.
And they just don't deal with it.
They don't deal with it.
Nobody's parents are perfect.
No,
right.
not
you know what I'm saying? Nobody's. Even if your mom might have done a lot,
she got tons of flaws though.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like my mom, she wasn't financially stable, but she had tons of love. Like, and that's where I get a lot of my affection from and whatnot.
I like your
and
mom.
Stuff like that. You know, like my mom. You could ask anybody. Like I went to school with, I was cool with, friends with. Like my mom, she could be your mom and your best friend at the same time.
That's
you know what I'm saying? And although, like I said, although she couldn't provide financially, like I didn't have the freshest tennis shoes. Like I would get a pair of tennis shoes like once, maybe twice a year. You feel me? But I always knew I had that love and respect at home, so it ain't really bugging me. That's why I'm not like a big tennis shoe, none of that. Because what I did with the dollar is it's not necessarily that. I value the dollar itself, but I value what it can do for me and my family. You know what I mean? So, and it's funny because of the simple fact, like, even with hearing your story and then past guests and whatnot, we all like it seems like there's always a story to tell from the beginning, but then at the end there's always that light at the end of the tunnel. Which in that case, you and your master's degree and you doing a promo thing and all that kind of stuff.
She's in the middle of the tunnel right now, though. That's the thing. That's the crazy thing.
We all are.
Yeah, we all
and it's when it's over.
With a master's degree, she wants to get the doctorate. You know what I mean?
Wants to get she's getting the doctorate.
Yeah,
Is that from DeVry or? DeVry got a good program. That can suck my ass. DeVry got a good ass. DeVry got a good program.
Never,
You can buy a doctorate for $25.
haven't heard one.
Yo, in the last I wrote probably like 150 papers.
Oh, I'm house you in the paper time.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. So when I get my doctorate, and now I understand why. If you ever talk to somebody that's a doctor, and you just be like, "Hey, John Doe," he'd be like, "No, it's a doctor."
Nah,
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they work so hard for it, and I want white people to call me doctor. So that's my motivation. You know,
I hear that.
they gotta put the doctor on it.
They be like,
One thing I really like
doctor.
about you is that you are like almost like how the NASA dude,
Miguel.
Or
McQuell.
I think of his name real quick.
McQuell.
Yeah, McQuell Mo, electrical
Yeah.
engineer that works for
Yeah.
NASA.
Yeah, he was
Similar
similar
story.
a few years ago.
But he's still you can bond with him on like a level like how when you grow up he didn't like change and act like oh I'm shooting time again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I like that about you, right? Do you think that you know what I mean when the camera's off, like let's say if you was with Barack and Michelle Obama, you think they got that same thing, or you think they probably like?
Oh yeah, I think they do.
You do?
So when I first got here, my friend sent me Barack and Michelle at the On the Run 2 tour, and he is lit, okay? In his little skybox. Did y'all not see it?
I saw Michelle Obama was dancing and
He
stuff.
lit as shit, and he dancing, and he just going with the whole verses. So I do feel like it's that because he's always been real. Even when he was in office, he was real. Like the stuff that he has done, and even at his speeches and singing, and you know the way he's affectionate. We've never seen that with any president.
Very personable was the president.
So,
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So before we wrap this up and jump into those questions led by my man Marvin with the Is Cup, is there anything on the horizon you want to let us know? I know you were hinting to some maybe you want to touch on that or any kind of career changes. What do you have planned?
No
that we can
money,
touch
no
back on?
promo.
So I am dropping divinebrandpromos.com very soon. So that's coming soon. Yeah, so we'll have that, get a little bit more professional. Of course, I have Divine Bartending. So if you need any events, I have about 14 girls and we can, handle the event, any type of event. So just let me know. You go to the page and you can just press the call button and the email button for both the promos page and the Divine Bartending page and everything.
And give them the handles to those pages.
That's
In
good.
case they...
At Divine Bartending, at KissKD, at Divine Brand Promos. And I am moving to LA, so I am planning on expanding like all the brands and everything. They'll still be here because Cash App works everywhere. So I'm still
All right, dope. Let's jump into the shits. And if we ever in LA, I assume we can hit you up. And we got all the clubs and the parties and all
that.
that.
We have connects everywhere. Las Vegas.
All over the world, boy. No, we just went out LA. We should probably, if she out Vegas, we got a homegirl went out there, a musician. Nova Love. And she's a part of a group out there now, so maybe I'll hook y'all up. Because you know how it is. Everybody we go
promo artists, you know what I'm saying? That goes hand in hand, so.
Right.
All right. Not Safe for Ears. Make sure y'all check us out on Instagram and Not Safe for Ears. Any questions, y'all can email us at notsafeforears@gmail.com. Make sure y'all subscribe on YouTube. Download on iTunes. We on Spotify, SoundCloud. Man, catch us. We moving. All right.
Appreciate everybody out there.
Thank y'all for all the fans who is tuning in. Now it's time to get into the fuck shit.
We haven't already.
Oh, really?
we kind of really. Tina had us pop. No, we was downstairs, Steve. We was downstairs talking. You thought the ass seeking shit was crazy. We was downstairs talking some shit. Tina's ready.
Shit. All right, so really. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and kick this off. All right, Marvin is Mr. with the Shits, gang. All right, so what is one sexual act that you think he would say no to?
Okay, so let's give us some more background. Mr. with the shit.
This is Marvin.
Yes.
Mr. with the shit meaning he will eat ass like I do. He will eat toes. He will eat what? He might get pissed on. Right?
I don't really like the toes.
You gonna suck toes? You ain't with the shits if you don't suck toes, bro. Bro, you ain't gonna suck no toe?
I suck toes.
All right, cool. So
and they gotta be squeaky.
He's willing to do BDSM. He's willing to
all
do. What is he? What we went through? We tried to find something he wouldn't do.
You help us
I'm not doing something you think he would do.
Give us something the girls like.
I'm not doing that, dog.
Give us something you think like, all right, he might not like this.
You don't like getting your ass ate?
Ooh, I like that one. You came hard for the manhood.
I mean, most men don't.
Looking at that ass. All right, would you be cool if you get your dick sucked? She say, hey, let me take a peek.
No.
Because if you
Yeah,
let me
maybe
so you really don't want
between the balls or something.
The tank.
but not
yeah.
not my actual finger in your ass.
Hell no.
Exactly.
What about the tongue? What about the tongue?
Hell no.
It shouldn't.
You ask him, because if I ask him, it don't feel right. I can't believe
You don't want
What about the
anything in your
tongue?
ass.
What?
Exactly. No.
No.
So
All right, we found something. We
you
found what Mr. with the shits is not what the shits about.
He don't want.
He ain't with the shits.
He just don't want to
Literally.
receive.
He is not with
I
the
am
shits.
not with the shits on my
The
shit.
shit or the shit.
I'm not with the shit on my shit.
Let's keep it going. What about you, Denzel? What you ain't with?
There's a lot of shit I ain't with. I mean,
No. Fuck you. It's a lot of shit he
I
is
ain't
with.
with.
It's
Yeah,
a lot
he
of
trying to
shit he is
stunt
with.
though, like.
I know.
Oh, you give us something, Denzel. Oh, you ask him another wild ass shit. Let's
So
see.
hold. Let me. I got something.
Okay.
A lot of girls I talk to, right? They all want to do a rape fantasy, right? They
Mhm.
all want to do like a tie me up, treat me like shit, blah blah
Yes.
blah blah, right? We never heard guys say that. What if a girl wanted to perform a rape fantasy
I'm cool
on
with it.
you?
I'm
You
actually
allow
cool
her
with it.
around?
Yep.
You allow her?
Now, these are the perimeters.
Okay.
Parameters.
I was gonna say.
I brought it back with parameters,
Nigga,
right?
are we the police?
You cannot hit me. You cannot hit me. I will fuck you up.
No, she gonna hit you over the head one good time.
No. You touch me, I'm fucking you up.
Can we choke you?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on.
You can
say
be
she-
rough. You can be Wait. Hold on.
Could we zoom in on that shit?
One of these.
Can we choke you?
No,
Because-
bitch, don't go there. I ain't talking about no two at a time.
Yo,
right.
it's gonna take more than one to
Hypothetically.
get you.
Hypothetically.
If you wanted to be a real
Let me
rape
give you.
fantasy for a guy,
Can I tell you how I want to get raped? Can I tell you how I want to get raped, bitch? You gotta tell me how you want to get raped. You gonna have your chance to get raped. How I want to get raped. All right, so listen. Let's say
welcome to
they
the
like
outfit here.
eat this pussy and like pushing my head in it, right? Or like if we fucking like, yeah, fuck me, you little dumbass bitch.
Right.
Or like some shit like that. Or
You
like
gotta do that to you.
as she's coming, like she's squirting, she's like, yeah, nigga, like shit like that.
Oh, that's like-
She could be physical like this, you know, but I don't want no smacks in the face. I ain't cool with that. Choke is cool, but
how about punching?
no, no Adam's apple
Yeah, I
choke.
don't want those.
No punching. It could be like this.
What if it's a light tap one?
If it's
Okay,
a
light tap I'm cool. But what happens is that you start getting to it, that light tap gonna turn
It
out
might,
there.
it might
You
be
know?
harder. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, the balls. Fellas, I don't know about
Well,
y'all.
that's
but
what-
a
that's
little
what you get
aggressive
two-
ball play, I'm
you
cool
get
with
a
it.
two-slap
She
minimum.
gonna a plug on the balls. I'm cool with a plug on the
I don't
balls.
like that. Yo, I don't let my
I
girls
don't
get
know
hurt. Yo.
balls.
I want my balls to be
The
nice
dick,
and
the
comfortable
dick
all
sucking
the
game.
time.
Like, look,
No, if a girl sucks my balls too hard, I'm angry.
No. You're right. But it's
I don't
not.
like it.
Let's say she's sucking it for 30 seconds. She just throw one semi-hard sucking it. When you want to stop her, and she goes back and says, "Oh, come
Oh,
on."
like the pain and
Yeah,
pressure
just
type
a
of
little
thing.
bit. Just a little bit.
Alright, so that's different.
Yeah.
Tied up.
I got
Cool. No, I ain't cool with tied up. I saw. What was that
like
movie?
doing-
No. Because what if
I've
she
been
caught
tied
me
up.
in somebody's DMs and that was her moment now to fuck me up?
That you should have never
Stop,
been in
yo.
on.
Yeah, but it's too late for that. Now I'm tied up, my ass like this, and she like, nigga, I got your ass now. So no
She
tie
pull out
up.
that big ass
No
long
tie
dildo like this.
No tie up, no punching.
That bitch got a machine on the end of it.
That's what I'm saying. Tied up.
I've been
It's
tied up.
like, yeah.
So this is another thing that people like.
Sir,
I
how do you
know
wanna
if
get
you guys
raped?
are fucking with it.
How do you want to get raped? You ain't tell us that part yet.
This is what I'm trying to say. Look, if you really want to make this a real rape fantasy, you can't do it by yourself.
Hey, this dirty bitch. Honey, you gotta bring your friends in here.
Right.
You gotta make it a group thing.
You know what I'm saying? So
Call Sheila over
hey,
and
look,
have
if
some
Sheila
fun.
come and help, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm with it.
All right, so you want multiple.
Right, he
You
want
want
to
gang bang.
He want to get called
Yeah,
in
He
for
want to get gang bang.
Right.
You see the white chick with like 18
Because
black
one
dudes?
girl
He want to be the
probably
white
can't
chick.
rape a man.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want that.
with 18 black
That's
dudes.
He want to get his face stuffed with pussy.
It's a
Another
reverse
girl
gang
fucking
bang,
him.
yo.
Another girl just beating the
reverse
shit out of his
gang bang.
balls.
If you bring more than two,
Terry
if it's
said she like
3
that.
or 4, then
Remember?
I don't care what you do. Just do it. You punch me in the face. I don't care. Just one time in the
Punch
face.
you. Look at Steve. Look at Steve face. Steve like, y'all still. I ain't working out with this
I'm
motherfucker.
learning about you.
Look,
It's
I'll take an L on that. A reverse gangbang.
Yeah, come on, yo.
Remember that was what Terrence said that she had a fantasy about.
She watches the fan. She watches the reverse gang
but
bang.
yeah, reverse gangbang.
She did talk about that.
And she's in Cancun right now
The
too.
only thing that's
Salute.
completely offline, the only thing that would be completely off limits to me is pegging. You're not doing that shit.
Who?
Is
What?
what?
Pegging.
Peggy.
Pegging.
An old lady named Peggy.
What's pegging?
Pegging is when a woman wears a dildo and fucks a nigga.
Oh,
Wow, I didn't even know
but
about
that's the same thing as an ass.
So
There's no entry at
yeah,
all.
no.
Like nothing is.
No
going
ass
on.
paper.
Look,
Right.
don't get nowhere
how about
like
this?
that vicinity
Oh,
right
we
there.
need her.
Just no fingers,
We
no,
gonna get to
no
those.
We gotta get her
no
my
weapons, no tools.
Yeah, we want to
Said
get
no
her rape.
weapon.
We want to get her rape.
What's her rape
I never
fantasy?
thought about my rape fantasy.
What the
What's the
fuck?
rape fantasy?
I never thought about it.
Well, go ahead and think about it.
But
Turn
you know
lights
what?
down.
A
I
Jamaican
do-
dude named Steve.
I would want
He
a
blows
rape.
smoke
I would
in
want
your
to.
This nigga, yo, Steve, bitch, you know how you put people on the spot. That was up to her.
he will.
Y'all crazy as shit. I would want to be asleep though, and kind of like molested and raped in my
Ooh.
sleep.
So,
All right,
hold
so-
on, hold on,
That'd be
hold on,
kinda
I
rough.
got you.
And then I wake
Okay,
up,
okay,
and
okay,
then you be
okay,
like,
okay,
what?
okay.
And then
What
you
happened
choke
to
me
you?
because I like to be
Let
choked.
me take it
So
back.
you gotta choke me.
Wait,
Like
wait,
after I
time,
wake
time.
up,
Hold
you gotta be like, bitch, don't
Hold on.
move. Like I'm raping you. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you
Right.
choke me. You just don't
So-
let me up. Just choke me.
You
And
wake
then-
up, right? You
Yeah.
wake up, and your arms are bound behind your hand.
I don't mind the tie up.
You're sitting in a chair.
She's Jamaican. She's freaky. I mean, what are you
I
talking
know,
about?
right? I was gonna try
I
to
ain't
go all the
saying-
way in for the
And he
kill,
take one of
right?
them golden crust beef patties and push it in your fucking face. You dirty bitch. You dirty fucking whore. Is that cool? Is that all right?
Yeah, that's all right.
That's too much. That's all good. That was a shout out, baby. That was that golden crust. That's that Brooklyn shit.
How you plug it up?
I had to plug. I said, how can I tie a Jamaican with
Hold
that?
on, bro. Everybody in this room knew exactly what that would be like.
Every girl, we all try to act like the little sleep fuck, like we still sleep.
Yeah, why could
But
you
I
do that
kind of
shit?
like really want to be like out, and then like I want to
Wake
feel
up,
like
you tired.
You wake
Torn
up
up,
in a
high,
cold
hog tie.
basement with a leak in the corner.
See, y'all getting scared
What was
of
that?
this
What's
shit.
that shit they used to put in medieval times when they used to put the people in this shit?
oh no, not that.
Yo, Marvin, you get this. All right, real
No,
talk.
no, none of that.
So you see why
You
we
can't
asked this
move.
question, right?
This is a
Oh,
very
you put them in
question.
the guillotine hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that. Not that.
All right, real quick before we go to the next
You
question.
ain't with shit.
You touched on something.
She just wake up and she get to the back like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Everybody, is it too much? What if you got drugged? You're asleep and then you do wake up at another location.
You mean drag?
Drugged? No,
Oh,
like
no, I
like they
probably
put some
like
drugs.
that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
like some extra
I thought you
90
meant
minutes. Is that too much?
Yeah, but it's about
That's
somebody.
too much.
It's somebody.
Oh, by somebody.
It's just
Nah,
part of the.
No,
I don't think you
that's
should still
still-
want to drug me.
Nah.
Right?
He said, "Bro, in the basement and shit." It's like,
You can just be like, we can talk about it like, are you going to
No,
act
no,
like
no.
I
It's
drugged you?
if it's a no. It's a yeah.
But you could be like, just act like you drugged. And then I can
No.
play along.
It might be
Don't
better
drug
than
me for
drugs.
real.
How real do you want this fantasy?
Yeah.
You want 100%?
I don't want to be
What
drugged.
you mean? All y'all gotta do is sit there and drink enough liquor and let you.
And
It's
smoke
not-
some
but
blunts,
you,
something,
but if
yeah.
you really want to make it real to her, you gotta scare her a teeny bit.
Now like this.
I don't
like,
think no
so
woman
me,
wants
I
I'm like, nah,
drink Coronas a lot.
Nah, hold on. We'll
I drink Coronas a
Quaaludes.
lot, but I like to take a lot of shots in between the Coronas. Like I'm chasing my drink with the Coronas. So all you gotta do is give me like 3 shots and let me drink like 10 Coronas. And I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? So because I can drink, I can put down a lot of Coronas in a night.
Yeah.
But I'm good the next morning.
If you
it's
don't
the
want to buy
shots
10 Coronas
that
and
gets
3
me.
shots, stick 1 Quaalude into the first or second Corona.
Hey, you sound like a rainbow. You're giving too many of your trade secrets over there. So first you gotta catch the bitch in the parking lot.
Look, I'm
Because if I get
I ain't
too,
gonna
I
try.
don't understand.
Hey, look, I don't know that guy. How you doing, Nick?
Yeah, he's getting scared. Y'all, this nigga said, listen,
He said
you
you gotta
reminded
scare
back,
him a
he
little
said, wake up in
Nah,
the
that's
basement,
a
quake.
911 call right there, bro.
Yes.
Let's see what the next topic is. That was a good one. I like
Alright,
it.
so if you could live anywhere outside of the United States, where would you live? You know what? I just had a discussion about something like that too, about living abroad.
Wait,
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 so start it then.
No,
you
you all right.
start.
No,
You gonna forget?
You never start. Go
I
ahead.
ain't gonna forget.
All right, so don't forget.
I think.
I
Let me guess where you want to live. How about
Where?
that?
Where?
Rwanda.
No.
That was racist. That was racist. Why can't you live in Amsterdam? Why you gonna you go right to Africa?
right to Africa.
He said Rwanda.
No, I actually
Because
thought
you saw
about.
Hotel Rwanda, right? That's the only reason you dirty bitch.
I think I want to do it though. I think I want to live abroad at least for a couple of years.
Where?
I would want to do it. I would either want to go to Australia or
White Rwanda.
True indeed. The bush. That's the white bush.
okay, Australia
Aboriginal.
or Greece.
I heard Greece is
I
beautiful.
don't know they like black people in both of those locations.
They like black people.
Not in Greece.
They
You
like-
better know about Greece.
They
I
killed a
better.
nigga in Greece.
Yo, they got a
They kill
strong
niggas.
Nazi party.
They kill
speak
niggas
on
every
it.
day.
Speak on it. Yeah, the
I
Nazis
know,
are real
but
strong in
like-
Greece.
They can kill you right now. They could come in your house and kill you.
I know, but
Yeah, I
You
ain't-
will be
America's
you
the
will be a
land
hot
of the
commodity.
prejudice and the racism.
Yo,
Right.
Not
hold on,
the
talking
America.
about
I
the United
know.
States is the most fucking is the most ignorant country in the fucking world right now.
I have a lot of people that lived abroad in the military, and a lot of them don't come back. And if they do, it's because they have children here. But at the end of the day, they would rather live abroad because they don't have to deal with the racism.
Somebody
I
saying
heard about
fake news.
Different cultures.
Maybe
The way different cultures are, like compared to the United States, like it's more free, it's natural.
Yes.
It's definitely a lot more respect that they show for one another, as well as the environment itself.
Right.
Like you think about the way we live here, over in France and in Germany and stuff like that. No, they appreciate They appreciate human beings a lot more, and they appreciate their environment a lot more too.
They really
Germany, if you to touch on that, and you were a little bit weird about it because you think that Germany's not. If you go to Germany, I bet you have sex 5 times in the first day.
Yeah, okay, you talk about the fantasy of sleeping
There's
with
a
a
lot of
black
black
man?
people in
What about
Germany
I just want to
too.
work there? They're like, nah, fuck that, you gotta get fucked. Like, I'm talking about like everything outside of the sexual
Oh yeah, they're
fantasy.
gonna rape you and they gonna guillotine.
Like how me going to the market go?
This is what
Nigger, like what?
I think all of us have like this like grass is greener idea. I think America's still probably like top 5. You know what I mean? Easy.
Oh, it's definitely top
Right,
5.
it is
I'm not
But
saying
it might be
top
5.
It is because of like I think
The American
when a
dream.
lot of people leave because like how my family they left Jamaica, but Jamaica's still great. It's just the oppression there and getting moving forward.
Getting ahead.
See, it's the capitalism here that helps it. You could come here,
The
you can start
American
your
dream.
business. It's,
Yeah.
it's the American
It's like
dream.
India, we got
But when you
caste
come
system and
here,
shit.
so we Jamaican, we heard
Yes.
it. How many family members have left Jamaica and came here like, damn, this shit hard.
Yeah.
Because here, people, when you go, and I haven't been everywhere, but when I've been out or talk to other people, the American dream is really you work every day, you stay in debt, and you die in debt.
Yes.
You're not really enjoying your life though,
No.
Unless you do it the right way.
unless you do it the right way.
What's the right way?
So
The right way,
you have to
bust
have
your fucking ass
and have
you
multiple incomes
Yeah,
and
and
start your
then live
business.
with-
Like me, I like my 9 to 5 because that's what I do, and I make a lot of money in my 9 to 5. But at the end of the day, I have my businesses as well. So that is what Jay-Z said, like multiple forms of income.
Yeah.
Like he got a lot of money, but then he just signed a Puma shit, so now he got more money. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So he's building
Every millionaire has
generational
7
wealth,
different
is
streams of
owning
income.
land and stuff like that. I know black people that are millionaires that I know personally because of land. You get what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
So unless you
Yeah,
have
true.
that, you can live. Like me, I'm not rich, but I have enough money where I can pay my bills and still enjoy life though.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but a lot of people, like our parents, my mother don't live like that.
Yeah.
She never lived like that. So they can't vacation because, God forbid, if she gets sick and she's in the hospital for like a week, she can't pay her bills the next week because we all a paycheck away, literally.
True.
So that's not life. So
Truth
when you
be
go
told,
to different
nigga.
places, they have less. They're happier.
But the
First of all, we
quality,
die quicker.
Yes.
We
Yes,
have more
definitely,
cancer.
Because
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
simpler.
This is
Like,
supposed to be an
it's-
uplifting
it's
But them
simpler.
7-Eleven hot dogs are too good, man. You can't just not eat a 7-Eleven hot dog.
Because
Oh,
when
we
you
gotta
go to
reel it back
different
in.
places to kind of like eat healthy, it's cheaper
Yeah.
there. To eat healthy here, it's a lot. McDonald's is way cheaper.
Yeah, it's
of
not.
course.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the fuck
You
it
can
is.
buy
To be
lettuce.
a fucking vegan,
You can buy lettuce, corn, and chicken thighs for like $10.
and you can get a meal for $5.
Yeah, but you can have like 3 meals out of that.
But that's why they make
I think
it.
you can- I think
McDonald's
people
got
don't-
a fucking
You can get a
dollar
meal for
menu where you
$3.
can-
No,
It's also
Denzel,
some habit.
Denzel, you know that.
I think people
But
here
most
don't know
people
how.
don't know
Yeah.
that.
That
But
is-
even
Most people
still,
ain't peep to that.
A lot of
Yeah.
vegans still
It's
say it's
that.
expensive, but
Yeah,
then
it
it's
is
like,
expensive
but I
because
need
they
to
charge
live
you
longer.
more to eat.
Right.
They charge
Yeah,
you
but
more to eat.
vegans
I look
like
at it
eat
like-
expensive food. I'm saying if you want to eat on a budget, you can eat
Yo,
wholesale on a budget.
real shit.
Yeah,
If you
It's
meal
hard.
prep the right fucking way,
Yeah.
yo, you will
How many
spend.
people have time to do that though?
That's another thing.
Rice cakes.
Look, I ain't got all the time in the
Speaking of
world.
which, it's Natural Chicken Wing Day, so yeah.
What's natural chicken wing?
National Chicken Wing Day.
Oh.
Sorry.
Did he say natural?
I thought you said
Well, look,
natural
no fried
chicken
chicken, mother,fucker. You know
It's
how
not
to
fried chicken. It's just
Better not
straight
be.
wings.
I got wings in the
Big
fridge right now.
turkey wings count.
All right.
Yes.
What's
Shit, you said this going off the rails. We
What's-
talking
I
Oh
about
know.
yeah. All right. So if you had to live
We
abroad,
didn't
where would
even
you
talk
live?
about. I think.
Oh yeah, we didn't touch on that.
So-
Yeah.
Where would you live?
I haven't been too many places out of the country.
East
Maybe
Baltimore?
like 3 or 4.
That should be out of the country, shouldn't it?
I know, right?
I love y'all though.
What do you say?
I went to Montreal, yo, and
That's what I was
it's
gonna
cool
say.
as fuck because people automatically they think you French. They talk to you in French. Then as soon as you say like, "Oh no, I don't speak French," whatever, they just start talking to you in English. So it's like if you go anywhere else, I mean, you can't go and run into everybody who's like foreign, but then also feels domestic. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like that's tough. And then I fell in love with the city, yo. Good food, good atmosphere.
I hear.
Yeah, you
I
always
think
love
so,
food. Yeah. If it's got good food, Denzel will live there.
I mean,
Right.
bro, that's
important,
cultural.
I kind
That
of
is
agree
it.
with him.
You
Not
would-
Montreal though, but probably Toronto because I've
No.
never been to Montreal.
Listen,
And you know
I'm
it's
gonna
little
say-
Jamaica.
Yeah,
So.
exactly.
Yeah, y'all heavy out there. Y'all real heavy out there.
Yeah, I heard about the carnival up in Toronto. I want to
Don't say
check
that
out.
because Caravan is next
Caravana.
weekend. I should be
Caravana.
there. And
I'm
I'm
sorry.
I
not
know
going.
we ain't going.
I'm not going.
It's
But
not,
it's beautiful
But
because
then
they're
that
not
cuss me out
racist
though,
either.
like.
they're not.
They're not racist. And when you go to college out there, they give you a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're not really in debt. And you can live in an apartment for free. It's a lot of benefits. And before, their healthcare system is still better than ours.
Yeah, and people not as nice as what they say they are. It's still normal. It's like not weirdly
Yes.
nice.
Yeah.
And it's a mix. It's a melting pot. That's
So
what
Yes.
I
I
like.
was
Yeah.
expecting everybody to be like super friendly, and people still walk past you, don't look at you and shit. And that's like, all right, good. I like that. I need that.
You babysitting that beer?
A little bit.
It kind of
I was wondering.
I would like to move to Japan, but I've heard some.
Ooh, I heard about
Japan is cool, but I hear that
They sexually like pent up in Japan.
yeah, the suicide rate is pretty crazy within some of their communities. But also I hear that it could be somewhat difficult for African Americans.
Yeah, they don't like.
Yeah.
They don't like.
So
They don't.
in my head, like the idea of moving sounds cool. I embrace it.
China is a little better though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
China.
had a big.
South Korea.
Yeah.
They had a big deal in
Korea.
Japan
Yeah, Korea,
because
yep.
they had a big deal in Japan because there was a Black Miss Japan or something like that. Her
Mm.
father was from Kansas.
I think I
Well, we
do
gotta
know
be
that.
Father
real
was
though.
from
We gotta
Kansas.
act like
And her mother was
racism
Japanese.
still was there.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
recently, like
Racism is a good
when
thing.
the soccer team won, they don't like black
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
but
yeah, like
it's
they-
like,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You mean
Yeah,
when France won?
yeah,
it's
France
France
won.
is basically just.
But the whole team is
You know what I'm
basically
Their whole
Black,
team basically
yeah.
African.
But so we
Yeah.
know it exists. They love it. I don't know.
They love when you can do something for them.
Yeah, true. That's what it is.
They love our culture. They don't love
Yeah.
us.
So where would you go?
I just said it.
He said Japan.
Boy, get
And you
another
said,
drink.
and you said,
Why would you go to
where-
Japan?
I would probably say Toronto.
No,
I would say
I like the idea
Africa,
first front about it.
like maybe like Cape Town and
See, I
stuff
would
like
have
that.
to.
Now I never been there,
Why
but
can
I
you
heard
say
it's-
Africa, but I can't say
It's
that?
heard. It's like
No,
beautiful.
motherfucker,
You
you
said
said
about
I-
somebody
yeah.
else.
But the oppression on women is still there. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going
Oh,
like
yeah.
she said. I'm going to Toronto.
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 It's only an 8-hour
Toronto,
drive.
yes.
Hey, y'all motherfuckers
Toronto,
right
that's
up
right
the street.
there. Toronto,
Y'all
right there
motherfuckers
from
right
New
up
York
the street.
City.
It's right there.
Yeah, I'm saying. So
Not on this, not even,
Except for the winter time.
What-
I'll come back here to
not on this continent,
West Coast.
not in North America. Where would you live? Not in this.
No, yo, that we answer good answers.
The
No,
kid is
fuck
good.
y'all.
Just because you went all the way across to the fucking outback, nigga.
I'm not gonna lie. I do like VR.
Outback. Yo,
Yeah,
I want to see a kangaroo.
But see, what's crazy
I
about
love
DR Puerto
y'all.
Rico is that
Yo,
you can live
But
in a
they
nice
racist
place
there,
and
too.
right over there it's like people highly like
Yeah.
more like
The best
it doesn't I don't feel good moving
But
on
that's
it.
just like
They're third
anywhere.
world countries. It's just
Alright,
like
we gotta
it's
work.
just like
Just like
yeah.
I seen
Alright.
the most prettiest girl I've seen in my life working at a burger joint in Puerto Rico, yo.
Yeah,
And
Crisco
like
fucks
to
you
this day still, I mean,
Yeah, say it one
come
more
on,
time.
I can't say,
Hey,
I
hey.
can't just be on here like, my girl is the prettiest girl.
No,
Right.
I think
You
you
know what I
should
mean?
do that sometimes though.
Maybe you should stop doing that.
No, sir, I'm married. I think you should do that sometimes.
Hey.
I'm fucking with you.
Cheers.
Crisco cut his balls off. Hey, I bet the
Next
baddest bitch
question.
ever, the baddest bitch I ever seen ever, I don't care who the fuck it is,
Nah,
last week
Hey,
in
look,
movies.
I can say my missus, she likes Miracle Watts, so I can say Miracle Watts is a bad bitch.
Who Miracle Watts?
I love
You
her.
she's a
retired-
Miracle Watts?
She's a
I love
retired
Miracle
stripper.
Watts.
Her jersey got retired.
Yeah, she's a
Oh, that's the Thai stripper?
Yeah.
You know
Yo.
Miracle Watts?
Nah.
Yeah,
You see her
you
picture?
would,
You don't
yeah.
like stripper culture, yo. Fuck that.
No, I don't like paying for play.
Yo, let's go, yo.
All right, so how do you like being a sex goddess?
That's the question?
To me,
It's got to be to you, because I ain't
I'm
gonna
a
lie.
sex goddess.
Who wrote that shit?
Who the fuck wrote that?
I don't fucking know.
That's your handwriting, you dirty bitch. Look at your smile. Look at the smile. That's you. That ain't my handwriting because your handwriting better than
Nigga, I
mine.
showed up too late to write that question.
Okay, so you are our first sex
Sex
goddess
goddess.
guest. How is it being a
I'm
sex
not a
goddess?
sex goddess.
No, you
I
are.
feel like that's a high title, but
That's
I do
what you
like
are.
being a fantasy because I mean, like I said, who doesn't want to
You
be
get
a
off of
fantasy to most men? Of course I do. Why do you
So
think
hold
I
up.
said?
question.
Here we go.
Everybody want to be wanted.
So
Should I
think
think
about
about
it.
lights today?
So
Oh, them
Stop
lights
it,
got
Nick.
me horny.
stop it, Nick. Stop it, Nick. Stop it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Stop it.
Sex
So-
goddess.
As far as fantasies go,
Mhm.
right? Now you made up a few in your head, right? So at what percentage have you completed most of your?
This is a whole different question.
I'm not
I know
there
it's
yet.
really
That's
off,
cool, that's cool.
off the rail.
Yeah, because it gotta be somebody special for me to want to do it with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not there yet.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. Like I like it. Like I don't get mad at the DMs. I feel like the day that I don't walk into a room and I don't get stares, and the day I don't get DMs is the day I lost it. And I never want to lose it.
That's when you gotta move to a predominantly white country instead, so that you
white men. I would got more than that. I can move to like Vegas or Miami because y'all white men love us. But at the end of the day, they love us, right?
So she gonna be with a billionaire.
I'm way
you like, yo, Tina with a billionaire, fly us out.
I'm gonna be like Eve, you know? Eve did it.
Eve did it right. Eve.
Right.
True.
Serena did it right.
Serena.
No, they ain't do it right. Why the fuck we shitting on our culture? Why they did it right? Is it money or we talking about
Serena's man flew her to Italy because she said she was
Italian food.
Exactly.
Yo, I don't even take my
I wanted that somebody so bad.
Me too.
I swear to you.
Hold up. I'm gonna say it though, because we have rich black men, and you don't see them doing that.
No.
We do that shit. Get the fuck out of here, yo. We not gonna beat the black dudes up this whole podcast.
I'm not beating you up because at the end of the day, I don't want to date a white man. I don't want to marry a white man.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the black culture and the way that black men, and not y'all, but y'all have seen how black men disrespect black women though, and vice versa. Let me finish.
Thank you.
And vice versa.
Man,
but for the most part, we get that from our fathers not being there and everything. It's a process. It's the truth, y'all. You can't.
Let's not do that. Let's do it like this.
What? Let it go.
Do it like
Let it roll, yo. But listen.
All right, gotcha. I'll bring it back.
This is what people think, and I think white people get this wrong about us so much because they don't like rap music, they don't like all this shit. They can't understand it. Well, the young ones do, but the old ones don't. So like. Black music is such where black culture is such where Offset can fucking rap about all of this shit, and then you see how he treat Cardi B. It's completely the opposite. It's not like it's just
he
part
cheated
of
on her.
I'm talking about how he treat her. Like how.
So
first of all, can we get this out?
Think about like how Gucci and Keisha are because he did
I would
all
rather that better.
Yo, because Gucci did some fucked up shit too.
Don't do nothing.
Yeah.
Get the fuck.
But if she never
But
did nothing,
let me explain something to
He
you.
done pulled up.
Cheating is not. Doesn't mean you don't love the
Chris
person.
is downstairs right now getting piped. Chris is downstairs right now getting piped.
No. I agree 100% because I don't feel like any of us were even created to just be with one person anyway.
Thank you.
Especially men. You guys are beasts. And when it comes
Well, we
to
are
like,
beasts.
when it comes to like sex and stuff like that, it's a choice to be monogamous.
No,
it's a choice.
Like it is.
But if I dated all y'all in this room, right, and got married with all y'all, and I gave y'all a pass, y'all would probably take it.
Well, you gave us a pass.
You would probably
take
take
it.
it. But it's a choice not to still. I mean, you can't sit here and lie to me because majority.
No.
I don't know because I'm sorry because you know when we cheat for different reasons.
Well, I mean, like yo, look,
you can like you just said.
We haven't been getting on an emotional level lately. Light skinned Nick here is a pretty emotional guy. Go ahead, you can do it.
But that's what I'm saying. So the reason why
why you trying to play me like this old bitch ass?
I'm glad he said
psychology behind all that hate.
That's because you know we eternally racist. But at the end of the day, you just said it. So you can have the best bitch in the world. She cook for you. She suck your dick. She do everything, and you still will probably want some new pussy. And that doesn't mean that she doesn't love your bitch. It just means you just want. And I 100% agree with that. But me, the reason why men can't forgive women their women when they cheat is because when we cheat on y'all, it ain't because we want new dick.
What is it
cheat
for?
on y'all because we're lacking. You guys are lacking something that we need.
It's an emotional.
And we probably in love with the other nigga.
Emotional thing.
Emotional with
say it
affection.
again. It hurt me. What you say? It's probably in what?
Probably in love with the other nigga.
So it's an emotional.
I'm gonna it happen to me, yo.
What?
You can go ahead.
I'm gonna say that shit.
Chris is getting piped downstairs.
Women are not like us. Like we will fuck a piece of pussy and not feel no type of way for her.
Exactly.
And they just keep
when she fuck with a nigga, that's because the nigga done listen to her problems.
Yeah.
That's because the nigga.
Well, y'all hurt us, and now we get
the same
also
shoulder she
revenge.
crying.
Actually talking about that.
It's a revenge fuck.
Hold on, real quick.
It's not always emotional. It's just like, oh, that nigga don't. Oh, okay, I'm gonna see if he like this.
But even if that, it's to hurt him.
Yeah, it is to hurt him, so it's still emotional. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
I do think that
I'm gonna reel it back in.
Oh, and not a real back home.
I'm gonna reel it back.
The goddess is done. I'm not a goddess.
She's a sex goddess.
I'm not a sex goddess.
You're not a sex god?
She's the
Are you a
pussy
sex
like
god?
pedestal.
Are you a sex god?
Huh?
Oh, are you a sex god?
This isn't about me.
No, that's only God.
This ain't about me.
All right.
This ain't about me. This is about
Organized
Steve.
religion.
Ooh. You wrote that early, you dumb bitch. You wrote that recently.
You want to start it?
How did, all right, well, you guys.
I'll start.
How do you guys feel about organized religion?
So Steve is an Orthodox Jew.
No.
And
we
you
say Steve.
Steve.
That's fucked up, yo.
No, you gotta say Tariq.
Tariq.
You know, people be hitting me up like, Who is
Y'all
Steve?
racist.
Who is the Steve guy? Why is he on camera?
Yeah, that's stupid as shit.
But so you don't believe in organized religion?
No.
I grew up in organized religion.
Name the
like,
denomination.
Like,
What's the denomination?
having like a mom as a minister, and people that thought they had like prophetic word be looking at me like, oh, you want to be like a pastor and you can be this and you can be that. And then like,
kids is the shit. Like, y'all the worst.
Ooh,
That's why he's so nasty.
That's why you so fucking nasty.
That's why.
You've been oppressed
why.
your whole
I'm not
life.
a
You probably couldn't
That's-
masturbate till you was 19.
That's
my mom,
Not-
my
no. That's
She said,
why.
I'm fucking everything.
That's why this motherfucker so
That
great.
makes so
Yo,
much
my mom is
sense.
from like she went to Walbrook, bro. I'm not like.
No, I'm not saying it's not a
She went to
degrade.
I
The
wasn't-
pastor's daughter, right? That's what we always
you
heard
grew up
of.
in
So now it's
No,
the, it's
I
the,
grew up in church,
it's
but
the
I was
pastor's
just saying I
son.
was a good kid for my life, and that's
You were a
nice. Got
good
to
kid.
do it.
Then you were
I was a
bad.
pretty good kid, but I
Kids
wasn't.
always- kids always bad.
He said he was.
They are.
He was.
That's talking about
Teachers'
my
kids
mental.
and preachers'
Yeah,
kids.
that makes so much sense.
Both of them teachers, so I
Hey,
don't
look,
know.
real quick, we didn't know his mom was a pastor.
We just figured out the
A
riddle to the
minister.
A
story.
minister.
Was that the same thing?
It's different.
It's a little bit
Same
different.
thing.
That's why I don't like religion.
hierarchy
That's why I don't
in
like
the church.
religion.
Yeah,
Say
hierarchy in the
hierarchy.
church. But we just
Everything has a
figured out.
hierarchy. There's a hierarchy in.
I didn't say
Everything.
everything. Did.
All right, real quick, hold
Yours just in
up.
the
We
church.
were a little rude. We cut you off early.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead, organized religion.
Alright, so I'm somewhere between you. So Steve, you pretty religious, kind of
Yes.
like that. Yeah. Nick, Marvin's kind of religious. I think Nick
I'm
is like.
spiritual.
Nick is
I
like.
don't really
He
document
created his
myself
own
to any
religion.
denomination.
He hasn't got anybody to join yet, but
But it's an organized religion, so we can all create it. That's the
And
whole
me,
point.
I'm between like thinking that every religion is really the exact same thing, looking at one thing like and like just giving his opinions, and then people think it's different. And then you are like in a place from what we talked about earlier where you think like you just want to like not really pay attention to it at all.
Because it's biased, because it's man-made, and it's not true.
Bingo.
So-
Especially Christianity,
Name something-
which you probably are.
Yeah.
Exactly. So a lot of those stories
Not on the weekends though.
existed before even Christianity existed.
No, I won't disagree.
And a lot of those stuff are not fact-based. And at the end of the day, I only
Let me
deal
go
with
next on
facts.
this one. Let me go next.
So I don't believe it. It's good, and I'm not going to sit here and try to act like I never read Psalms when I'm in a tough time or ever read the Bible, because at the end of the day, I grew up in that too.
Yeah.
Because that's what we were Christians. We went to church. My great grandmother like, oh, you got to go to church every Sunday. And black people, and the only reason why I don't really believe in it now is because of mental health and because I'm a psychologist and I do all that stuff. And when it comes to addiction, is Jesus will help you. No, Jesus is not always going to help you. You need fucking therapy.
See, I
and you
think-
might need some
I
medication.
think a lot of that. I think a lot of that is just how
Stigmas.
We use it as a crutch. Like okay,
Yeah.
so like
Yeah.
so I can go out on a limb and probably say I'm the most religious person in this room, but I don't think that well, first off, I agree with Denzel. I think that basically all religions are basically how people in different places interpret
Correct.
the
It's all
denial
about
versus
perspective.
good and evil and all that other type of stuff. For me, Christianity, that's what I believe in. But I think that we have used it as a crutch. We've used it to interpret and do what the fuck we feel like doing.
African American.
And
Yeah, we
we haven't taken it as like the same. So all the people who talk about gay marriage is wrong. The same verse that says gay marriage is wrong is the same verse that says you probably shouldn't be having sex
And
outside the
hypocrisy.
wedlock.
Exactly.
Period.
Yeah.
Right? No matter if it's gay or
Or to
straight.
love thy brother.
You know what I'm saying? It's the
Y'all
same
wanna
one.
wanna pick and choose.
Or-
So we
what works
created,
for y'all.
or when
we
Jesus
created-
embraced the
we created a
prostitute.
culture, especially at our age, where people who read and we study different things and we like, yo, how could a God,
Awareness, yeah.
how could a God that loves me this way,
Yeah.
right, be as hypocritical as some of y'all are? And that's
Right.
the problem with organized religion.
Right.
I think too many people lean on organized religion as instead of having personal religious experiences that they can draw on.
The problem
Because
is, I feel like a lot of people, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but I feel like a lot of people need something to believe in.
yeah, no, absolutely.
Believe in your goddamn self.
I mean,
Like-
but
The hope, that hope thing. Is
I feel like to me personally, I feel like it's just a little. If we were just confined to thinking that this was all there was, then we'd be a lot more miserable. There'd be a lot more people who were fatalistic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like hope is the stuff that gets you out of bed in the morning. Hope
Right.
is the stuff that changes your perspective when you don't got money. You say, you
Right.
know what? Today's the day that can change my life.
Right.
Like those are the things that keep us going. I just think the problem with organized religion, as someone who is very religious, is that organized religion always has the opinions of other people who are imperfect.
Exactly.
And those imperfect people then put their stamp on what it is.
Exactly.
And that affects other people.
Right.
That affects how you see the
And
world.
the judgment of it too.
Yeah. That affects how you see the world. That affects how
Exactly.
you see the world.
Right.
That affects how you see the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, one of my biggest issues, one of my biggest turning points when I was growing up was watching older people judge young people for having kids before
Right.
they got married. And then
But back in
somebody,
the day-
an older person, she bring, oh, this is my grandchild. The fuck? I didn't know you had kids.
Right.
Oh, I had kids. I left my kids back home so nobody would know that I had kids. And now I feel comfortable because I'm saving for 20 years
Right.
to bring my kids and my grandkids here.
Right.
And I'm
each
saying,
religion got this shit.
and I'm saying,
A lot
like,
of
you
dirt.
know, what about if you would have had that conversation with a young person who was looking to explore shit, and not even on a religious tip, just be like, yo, this could change your life in ways you ain't ready for, like and to me that's structures and certain rules. Anybody who's read any story of Jesus.
That I grew up with, so I can, identify a little bit more. But the hypocrisy is like,
Oh, they'll take one thing out the Bible
Yes.
and use it.
Yeah.
But if you are devout, use all that shit.
The
Don't
problem
just pick and choose what you want to use
Yeah,
and then
right.
point your finger at
The
me.
problem with
Hold on.
organized religion is not God or
Hold
Allah.
on. We gotta hear what Nick guys. They've been waiting.
All right, so now you guys covered a lot of the points I feel, right? I grew up as a Baptist. I put 20 years in, so I'm ganged up. Baptist, right? That was slick. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm like straight. But listen, check this out. Let's do a social experiment. You guys know what the telephone game is, right?
Yeah.
So I tell you something, by the time it gets to you, it's different, right?
Yes.
So imagine that, and then also a primitive species where when you saw lightning, you didn't think on a scientific level what might be going on with condensation and electricity. You thought a god tied to that
fucking you up,
specific action was mad at you.
Right.
When you saw rain, when you saw heat or drought, when someone died, that's what it was. I think religion was a way to explain the unexplainable in a very primitive time in social human evolution.
Not to mention that.
Right?
it's
Now,
nice.
through that explaining and through that social construct of saying, okay, not only do we got to explain, but we got a whole bunch of heathens out here, right? You got a whole bunch of grown kids who are running around acting crazy. We got to find a way to reel these motherfuckers in. We got to do things like 10 Commandments. Because everybody killing, fucking, beating. Look, we got to have some kind of rules. It's like the Constitution, right? Mm-hmm. It's a religious form of a Constitution. So now, listen. Another thing, too, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen when I close my eyes for the last time. Everyone assumes that their interpretation of what's going to happen is what it is.
Right.
How about this?
The beauty in me, real quick, is that I don't know, and I hope, as a Christian,
Let's not get past that. I want to push it right back to you.
Okay.
All right. People do drugs. They see things, right?
DMT,
what they're seeing is
hallucinations.
it's created. They feel these feelings. They catch these Holy Ghosts. How can you say that that's not what they're saying?
We not even can't say that. There's been a study. It was a documentary. Bill Murray, I believe, it's called Religiously, and he was talking about how neuroscientists were talking about certain parts of your brain where the Holy Ghost time are actually engaged and like there's activity there.
different things. But the one thing is we still all believe in
Believe in
God,
God.
though.
Exactly.
Science informs religion and vice versa. That is the golden rule, and the golden rule is biblical.
Well, see, I separate church and state. I'm thinking more like Constitution. So, don't come and steal my land, I'm going to steal your land. Not do it because your God said that, because then, okay, what else did your God say that I don't identify with? But my God does say
That's why we
because Christianity,
that's
the
why
Crusades,
we
they
here.
killed plenty of people for the sake of religion, right?
That shit wasn't terrible.
Right? And it's like, what the fuck? But then if another religion does it, then...
And don't forget
Yeah,
the
they don't.
Catholic Church, too.
But
They're the main one.
That's the fault of organ.
people.
The
That's
People
the fault of
get
the
very
people.
organized.
Hey,
That's why I said it's biased.
Let me stop y'all for a second.
The structure overall is the fault of people. We got fucked up people everywhere.
Let's reroute because I need an answer.
Some of them.
I need.
Yes, absolutely.
No,
There's pastors who rape kids. Yo,
Yeah.
like, that don't mean that the religion is
Not pastors.
Hold on, guys. Stop for 1 second. I just got to get this answer out.
1 second.
Okay, get out.
That was
All right.
1 second. Okay, so back to what you said now.
So no, I'm serious.
I'm going
I
to
think
this,
I think you guys are really gonna tell me something that I've been trying to figure out on my own, but I need some help. All right, do right now the world we live in right now, is it the most away from God, or is it? Or you think that we've grown closer to God?
It's impossible to understand. From my point of view, I'm only going
in terms of religion.
Well, I don't know. I gotta ask everybody to do it. My feeling, because he might say something depending on the articles he.
Was that your daddy was that you went to church every Sunday?
Right.
Now you can get on and watch a video and say, hold up.
The Bible had this many different denominations for the religion,
Right.
or King James got a hold of it and changed this because he wanted to divorce his wife.
I'm trying to get to something.
So
Just
what
answer
I'm saying is that I think there is a correlation of people not becoming atheists but questioning.
Okay,
the source
all right.
of
So
religion.
you will
that's
a higher level up.
So you'll agree, we'll all agree that people are believing in God in the traditional way less now than ever.
Yeah.
Also, I've been paying attention. You know, XXXTentacion, he just got killed.
Rest in peace.
He was making music for a lot of people that agreed that they were depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like sad and all that shit. More people, I feel like all these kids now are more depressed than ever. It's like, as we get the access to be able to do whatever the fuck we want to do, whenever we want to do it, however we want to do it, with whoever we want to do it, it's not equaling for us as a people to be more happier.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if maybe we can explain it, and in our ability to like say, well, that can't explain it, so I'm gonna do my own thing, and in doing my own thing, are we better off?
I think some of that is ignorance is bliss. So when you don't, as children, right? We're of that age where we grew maybe before the social media and the internet boom was really a thing.
Right.
AOL didn't really pop for me till I was about 13, 14.
We got best of
Now
both worlds.
you got kids that are growing up, and at 7 they can find out what's going on in Israel and Palestine. Like certain stuff when you were a kid, you rode bikes, you played, you went to the fucking shop. You didn't have that on your brain.
Yeah.
So a lot of these kids are dealing with shit on a psychological level they shouldn't have to deal with. Like as parents, you would keep your kids from certain shit. You would worry about the bills. You would worry about the cousin cheating on the uncle. You would worry about and the kids stayed in the kid's place. Now if they got a YouTube access and a closed door,
Not to
they
mention,
open to the world, and that's.
together. We don't do all of that, and that also contributes to depression as well as the drug use. Is a link there. There's always a link
I
there.
think what Denzel is getting at is a valid point, because I think a lot of us, I think there's you gotta have certain stuff straight within yourself before like all this stuff that you wanted. Like I think all of us in this room know that certain shit just ain't for us. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you don't have no idea that you need to. You don't need. Yeah, you with the shit. You with the shit, but you don't need to try everything. You know what I'm saying?
right?
Like,
We can learn from other people's experiences.
You know what I'm saying? And like I feel like Denzel's getting at, like there's a generation I feel like, yo, I'm gonna try everything because everything is gonna make me happy, and they end up, you know,
Not
what I'm
being
saying,
happy.
like, not
But they
being
don't
happy.
understand.
I was a happy ass kid, yo.
Yeah.
And I think all of us was happy kids, and we had less than what people have
What's
now.
that?
But that social media age, that's why our generation, I'm assuming we're kind of like all on the same level. We didn't have that. We had when we went outside and we didn't have nothing, and then all of a sudden we had social media.
Bush was still doing his thing.
We
in
had the
Middle
best
East. They
of
was still
both
fucking
worlds.
shit up. There was still
But
racism.
I think
People
what
were oblivious to it.
I think what people still have to remember is everything is a balance. So all this evil and everything else that we have, the killing and whatever, if you look at gays and gay marriage and stuff like that, God still created it all. So can you all imagine a world with no violence or no nothing?
No.
It's just perfect.
Probably without humans.
No, but it wouldn't work because everything is a balance. It's black and white, it's good and evil,
I mean,
it's
because
rich and poor.
Even if you look
That's
at,
the opposite.
I mean, even if you look at, so for instance, if you look at humans and how, you know, so on and so forth, even when you look at nature itself, nature is live and death.
Mm-hmm.
You know, life and death. you know, when a baby elephant is born, the mom has to protect this baby elephant from, you know, any lions, hyenas, whatever the case is. But everything must live and everything must die one way or another in this social environment. So for us, when we put a certain notation to it, and we try to go above that, then that's when we start to lose ourselves to a certain degree, because we start to think that, you know, for instance, if we put religion on it, and then people start to take that religion and use it as a higher standpoint for looking down on somebody else and giving that judgment, whatever the case is, the whole time you're not any better than I am.
We use the law as a higher standpoint so that our culture today is better than 500 years ago when they would just run around raping and pillaging.
But even that changed, because what we considered by the Constitution as African Americans or so even that has to be constantly. I'm gonna tell you that tie this in, not because I'm a tied in, because I'm, you know, the tire, but I hope that we're all wrong. I hope that we're all right. I hope that what we imagine is 90 times better, and whatever that place is, whatever kind of physical representation we are, that's what I hope. And it might not be spiritual. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Half Willy Wonka.
But I hope that it isn't just black. That'll be crazy if you go to sleep and that's it. Like we were just not an abomination, but we were just a lucky way of
exist.
Not that. But I don't know if I'm gonna see my grandmother floating like, "Hey, you bowling still?" I don't know if it's gonna be there. I don't know, but I hope that all this bullshit we doing on Earth, because we don't understand shit. It works out to be something.
We gotta rapid fire these last couple, bro.
FYI, I don't really believe in organized religion either.
You don't? I thought you did, yo.
I mean, we could create a religion today and get rich.
I believe in God.
You will get rich off this.
Just due to my certain circumstances and what I've been through, I know that there have been times where I can honestly say, I'm like, yo, there is no way. I don't know how I made it out of that. I don't know how I got through it, but I'm going to look up to the sky and I'm going to thank God for it.
Right, but not Jesus Christ, because you don't believe in organized religion, because you're not a Christian.
He does believe in organized religion.
Jesus Christ has nothing to do with Christian.
We supposed to wrap this up.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up, yo. We can talk about this.
And the reason why we're still talking about it,
But he's a historical figure.
hold on,
stop, yo.
I gotta wrap this up. The reason why we're staying on it, because it means a lot to us. This is not just talking about sex. So like, this is like real world shit. So I'm not trying to be rude, saying we gotta wrap it up. And I understand how.
All right, so these clients came to you for help. What is your plan to get them back to A-list status? Names on the back.
Ooh, promotion.
Chris Brown, O.J. Simpson.
Hold on,
who is that? Louis C.K. Oh,
Louis C.K.
Okay.
Who?
Louis C.K. Well, never
I don't know
mind.
that
That's
name.
a reference. Kanye West and Donald Trump. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Donald doing okay though.
He doing good, but go ahead.
Let's go with OG.
Over and loved by everybody. He's past that point already.
The fantasy's gone.
So you saying that 2008, 2007, 2008 is never coming back?
Nope.
Even if because remember he did apologize. Remember he was young, but remember he's black.
Yeah.
So it's no point of return.
But and he's a man.
He's an African American A-list celebrity.
Doing some weird shit with Karuchi after he apologized.
Yeah, he is, but he's in love with her, so that's why he's doing that.
He's been slightly of a weirdo.
He's being a weirdo.
So Chris Brown, that's what that was.
Yeah.
No, but what's she gonna do? We want to know what's her plan.
It's nothing I can do.
You gonna be listening?
Alright, so we all watched the documentary. One that he released like last.
Yeah, I watched it.
And
but he would never be like what Usher did
He never crossed
when
over.
he crossed over to the big, because
a lot of people still don't forgive him, and they never will.
So Usher gave that big girl herpes. OJ's
No,
Usher, I love
Giving somebody herpes and beating somebody, the herpes is probably more forgivable.
Did he give it a herpes on purpose?
Damn, that's for life. You can heal.
That's not forgivable.
yeah. Surprise herpes.
Because 1 in every 3 people you meet got that shit.
You got
1 in every 3 people
chicken
you
pox,
meet don't be
Somebody
bitches.
check about
Damn.
One of y'all here got herpes.
Well, I'm wrong.
I don't got
What?
the herpes.
Because we had chicken pox?
No. If you
I
one and three, you about to straight to herpes.
Rapid fire.
No.
All right, so next one, OJ.
Alright, so OJ Simpson.
Oh.
What you gonna do?
So OJ can't come back either because he's a black man that killed a white woman. Because we all know if it was his first wife, it wouldn't have been like that.
Yeah. All right.
And he don't deserve to come back because at one point he didn't identify with African American. He says, "I'm not black. I'm OJ." So. I mean, I rooted for him, and I wanted him to come out of jail because we're compassionate people, so we can forgive one another, right? As black people, but he ain't black.
Next.
So you don't know the Lewis character.
No. Wait, what did he do though?
He's a real famous comedian.
Who jerks off in front of people, women that don't want to be jerked off in front of.
Oh, it's probably no coming back. He should be in jail for that.
She indecent exposure.
Yo, she the worst PR.
Yo, Chris sounds like hockey helmets. Like, you're fucked. But you go ahead and pay that bill.
I'm just saying, 'cause I get dick pics in every inbox you can imagine, and I don't want to see that shit.
Yo, like, you know how funny it is if she was your PR person.
But because it's still gonna people, it's still gonna be people that still love you.
And like the R. Kelly shit, when he put out that song, even though he be doing shit,
She's stupid.
So all right, maybe you're not a PR, but you close. You're in that arena.
I'm in the arena. I would still promote them because at the end of the day, it's always gonna people. Ooh. It's gonna be people that love you, and there's gonna be people
that hate you.
Right, but
like
you can still attach and relate to the people that
they can still make money.
Yeah.
R. Kelly still tour.
What about Kanye?
And my mother be in the front row.
If George Zimmerman had an album coming out, you'd promote it?
No, I won't promote him. Hold on. Just because of moral standards, then no, I won't promote him.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. So, at some point in time, you got to draw a line for moral and personal.
The dollar is important to me, but I'm not going to sell my soul for it, though.
Kanye West,
he needs to definitely. So, okay, like the stigma thing that I was talking about, Stephen, a little bit. Yeah. With black men, he needs to identify with that, gravitate towards it, and kind of be a spokesperson for it, because we all know that he has some type of probably multiple problems when it comes to mood disorders, and never getting over the death of his mother as well. Yes. So he need to identify with that, because there's a lot of black men that will agree, because y'all know y'all kill yourself the most.
Yes, most highest success rate.
Yes, you do.
We have that, not only that.
The stigma, because you're crazy, or don't talk about it because you're a man. You get what I'm saying?
It's funny because like I heard one thing, like when I was going through some shit some years ago, my man was having a conversation. He said like he didn't realize that he never was able to have another conversation with another dude when he broke up with his girl, and say like, "Dog, she hurt me." You know what I mean?
Damn,
like, you don't have those conversations.
And yeah, like, I don't give a fuck about that shit no more.
Until
a lot of dudes will do that. Hold on. Time's out. You let him slide with that bitch ass nigga shit?
But that's the reason
why. You let that nigga cry about him.
And that's the reason why. So it's the stigma. It's like, you a man, shut up. And it does depend on culture as well, not just race. So it's too late sometime when we figure out, they really was, until you find them hanging in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me and my brother, we had that conversation about it, because, you know, even as a kid, when you fall down, you scrape your knee. You know what I mean?
Don't cry.
You're a boy.
I'm like, God gave you tears, so you could cry. If you weren't meant to cry, God would never give you tears.
Bingo.
Period.
So
Donald Trump.
Oh, shit.
Shit. How could you hold him within the communities we know he doesn't identify?
Okay, I don't really know how to kind of like word it, but all right. So when I look at Donald Trump, I do see a racist, but I see a classist first, not a racist, because in all the years of Donald Trump, he never talked like that. If you're a black millionaire, he would be probably your friend, as we see. Right. My stance on Donald Trump, and even in the race, I took a heavy stance on it. I don't know if you remember, but like when everybody was like less of the two evils, either him or Hillary, it was actually him that was the lesser of the two evils.
Yes. Oh, you know something about Hillary, huh?
Yeah, I know she's a racist and she stole from black people.
Well, you know, they are predators, super predators.
Yeah, super predators. But at the end of the day, but remember, he didn't owe us anything because he was never a politician. He was a reality star, millionaire, and a tycoon. Right. She was in politics for about 30 years and was the first lady twice, so she should know better. So she was not the lesser of the two evils. And not to mention she did get 4 people killed because of some dumb shit.
Oh, hey. You deep dive into something. We listen to the same podcast.
I'm just saying.
We also might
at the end of the day, he was the lesser of the two evils when he came in. Yes, he's a bigot, but what he's doing is not, I think it's an act. But he is a real nigga because we all knew Bush didn't care about black people, but he hit it. So you got to respect it a little bit more because at least it's in your face.
I ain't gonna lie,
and to mention, I don't like it, but I think it's still like I'm not gonna say it's fully an act.
When he got hired in office, he was like, oh shit.
I'm not gonna say it's a full act. But it is a slight act because he knew that was the way to win. Because we're acting like we don't live in a nation where 90% of white people don't think like him anyway.
So he's fucked.
90? Oh, no, it can't be 90.
Let's
not say 90.
Every white person done said the word nigga, done said nigga, done had some kind of racist thought about a black person, and I don't give a fuck what you say. Even if you married a black person.
I think a lot of it's
intent,
at one point
right?
in time
they had
Thank you. And a lot of them are prejudiced.
A black person did something, and they was like,
you try to act like prejudice was made in America.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, the fuck it was. No, when they came to Africa and they stole us and shit, and they dropped us off and all that other shit.
Well, they weren't even Americans.
And then they told us to go. Well, they were Americans after they came here. They said we were no longer Europeans.
They did that shit in Ireland.
It is within the Asian community and the Indian.
Oh yeah, it is there. But at the end of the day,
I'm not racist, but I'd be like, yo, this motherfucking nigga did this. I'd be like, yo, this motherfucking white boy was doing it. But I'm not racist. We all do that stuff.
Yeah, we all do it. But at the end of the day, they still have the privilege over us, so they can get away with a lot of things too.
Well, yeah, that's different.
So we gotta act like we're not gonna act like it doesn't super exist here because we can go to different places as we talked about, and you're not gonna see it, and it's not gonna be as prevalent if you see it.
Yo, you might catch some side eye, but you ain't gonna catch some white person like, this nigga here, and you gotta punch him in the face.
People be like, oh, I'm scared to go to the Middle East. You probably could die in Baltimore from a cop bullet before you die over there.
If you die in Baltimore, you're more likely to die from a straight bullet than a cop bullet.
So just tie it all together. They all fucked.
Yeah, they all fucked. Donald Trump is the one.
On purpose.
No. Kanye West is the one that is, I think, the least fucked. Because at the end of the day, y'all love them Yeezys.
No.
I
think
and y'all like his music.
is the least fucked.
Yeah, he can come
I think he has the.
I don't know.
Let's go.
Next topic.
I don't want to.
All right, so Facebook stock plunged 19% on Thursday, wiping out roughly 120 billion of its market value. How do you feel about this? I don't give two shits.
I don't care either. So.
You should care.
Why?
Don't you market shit?
I market, but my biggest. Well, yeah, they do own Instagram, right?
The market goes up and down
all the time.
Yeah, so
14%.
14%. If you would have said 35 or 40, then I'd be like, bruh, fucking some shit gonna go down.
14% is a significant drop.
And my business still gonna be good.
Let me tell y'all what this means. Let me tell y'all what this means. There's a new frontier coming. We don't know what it is yet, but figure it out soon because then you can let us know, and then we can get on that frontier first. Facebook took over MySpace. Now, MySpace, at some point, people was like, MySpace is forever, right? But it wasn't forever. Facebook is going to die soon. Instagram is probably going to drop with it. Something else is going to come up. We got to figure out what
So you just get on that wave and build it because everybody else going to jump on the wave too.
It's a lot of times it's not about being the best at something. A lot of times it's about being first at something. We can figure out what that is. We figure out what that is. Not only do you get on the wave and start taking pictures on that wave or videos or like hologram, whatever comes up with that shit, we got to invest in that shit.
Well, that's
way before people know. Way before people know what it is.
That's when you got to go talk to your stockbrokers, like, bro.
Fuck the stockbrokers. They don't fucking know what's coming up.
I have a little insight.
Stockbrokers don't know what's gonna be hot. Don't know what's gonna be hot next with the culture.
That's why when you talk to the right people, if you talk to the right investors, that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to do projections. They're supposed to base off of what you just have you ever seen Shark Tank?
Bro,
have you ever seen Shark Tank?
But the guys on Shark Tank are expecting the people that come on to tell them what the projected sales are. I'm talking about getting in on something that's going to come.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the next new.
Hey! How about this? How about you know about Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
Guess who made millions off Bitcoin? About it before the guys on Shark Tank.
That's what I'm saying. You got to talk to the right fucking people. When you talk to the right people, and you talk to investors, they can give you lists.
Investors do not know
real
about
quick,
that,
guys. Guess what? Neither one of you are wrong because the question was how you feel about it. So it's
but we can still talk about it.
But
we can still debate about it.
But it's not really a debate.
And guess what? I'm not mad at him. I just try to explain to him.
I feel like you guys are mad. I feel like you're being racist. I feel like you're being sexist.
Every time I get like elevated, he's like,
no,
seriously.
I listen to you, and then you listen to me.
I fucking knew about Bitcoin in 2008, and I didn't invest in it. That was the point of this conversation, right? As soon as you see something come down, something's going to replace it.
Okay.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
So do you know what's going to replace it now?
I have no fucking clue, but I
so
want to know.
Talk to a motherfucker to tell
It's
you.
not going to be a stockbroker because they not up on the culture. That'd be like going to a stockbroker and be like, what shoes coming out that I'm going to invest in? They not going to know.
They're
not going to know.
That's why they do that
insider trade.
That's why they're supposed to do the research. When you talk to certain investors, I literally
or you can start your own shit.
Like, look,
bro, call an investor and ask him what the high shoe on the market right now.
Right? I talked to an advisor, right? So as we were talking about investments and everything like that, they said that there's literally 3 groups that they go to, and what they do is they do a market research. They base off of what's popular now, what's creating more value, and what's creating traction, and they look at the lower budget companies or first start out companies that may have that kind of projected sale for later on down the line that you.
If you talk to different people, depending on who you know, depending on who you talk to, if you do talk to an investor, let's say they put this, hey look, this person they did 30,000 sales last year in this
product, right? Mm-hmm. But that was 60% from the first year, right? Mm-hmm. And then going into the projected year or the next projected year, they're supposed to reach 70 grand. You know what I mean? So you have to understand that when you're looking at something like that, yeah, you got to know when to jump in, but at the same token, you got to know where to find it.
Can I know when
to
jump in?
You got to look for it,
yeah,
so somebody can tell you.
But so jump in with this also. I'm gonna say one thing, and I'm gonna add to what you can say.
I want to jump in with my own thing.
Do you know what our lives would look like if we invested $1,000 or $500 in Bitcoin in 2008?
No, I was the Bitcoin and that industry was on my peripheral knowledge, and I'm very, very mad as well that I didn't invest into it. But some of the reasons why I think about it. Some of the reasons why I think it was a 19% drop.
You've been talking to investment bankers.
But he gotta finish.
All right, go ahead. So some of the reasons why I think it's a 19% drop within Facebook stock. 2 things. Number 1, security. Right? You guys all seen Zuckerberg go against front of Congress talking about, hey, all this other shit, these leaks. Another thing too, were you been aware about this UK poll that was going down?
No.
Where it involved pedophilia?
No.
Yes, read this. So it was a poll that went around. They were saying, if by chance an elderly man, they call it courting. If an elderly man went to a girl's page who was like 15 or below, and they were saying stuff like, hey, maybe we some chill some time. It was an actual survey that went around, and people were like, what in the fuck? Why is my young daughter getting a survey? Or why is my son seeing it? Why is this even a survey that Facebook is actually sponsoring and asking people, getting like a heat gauge?
Well, we can't get to a place where.
Go back into the tennis shoe talk.
No, we can't get to. This is you. We can't get to a place where you.
Why do we have to go and invest in things that already started? Why we can't just start our own shit?
Because you ain't got $1 billion to move
but you can find investors though.
No.
I know 3 black men that have started.
Swear you don't know.
And they didn't have all the money, but they found the white people and they put it in there, and then they found the money. But they had the idea.
I'm gonna invest in your business to get us to Mars. How about that?
Well,
we can't do it. None of us, because Because
you can't say we can't because you don't know, who I know, whatever. We can work on that and build to that.
I appreciate
and it may not happen, but at the end of the day, you can build a plan and try.
That's what I'm saying.
If you don't take a shot, you ain't gonna make
listen
it.
to me.
The smart investment might be like Elon, someone who has an infrastructure already built.
So you do your research.
Already ready for it.
Why we can't start the new Instagram? All of us right here. We can't start the new Instagram.
I started learning Python.
About the app that I know right now, but I know it's a black man, and what he did, he got his lawyer.
When I started this conversation and I asked her what was the next,
You're not black though,
and she said,
"Well, that's true." I really don't, because at the end of the day, I'm not really into
investing, and that's because I never really looked into it.
Check this
out.
out.
As of right now, let me finish. As of right now, I can't really be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just go and do it. I'm just asking, why can't we do it? Now, yes, I can do it, but that's not really what I want to do. I don't want to be that.
Hey,
I just want to be in my psychology job, helping addicts. That's what I want to do.
And Promo, a mean tangent. I feel like we all talked about how we felt about it. It's time to move.
I don't need to be like that big CEO with the big.
We got really bad. Do we have this is the last question?
No, two. What type of marketing?
Super fast.
What type of marketing?
No, skip that one. Skip that one. Skip that
Okay,
one.
all right,
Next
never
one.
mind.
Last
All right.
one.
So you get a written invitation to an underground sex party, and
we're gonna end this nice and sexy.
Yeah.
hold on, what?
Everybody pinch your nipples.
Hold on, what does that say? What does that say? All right, I'll pinch my nipple, but you gotta tell me what
Oh,
does that say. What does that say?
You gotta pick what's the lesser of two. You should probably go to statistically.
There's some science out there about dick size.
Iraq is fun.
I don't know.
You probably get a brother down there, right? Korea, you getting.
Yeah, I would probably.
Brother, you get no brothers in Iraq.
Well, they black.
I mean, yeah, Korea, you might end up with a nigga bitch.
But they black. I would probably. I don't know. Shit. I don't like Asian, so.
Hold on, Iraqis are brothers? Huh? Iraqis are brothers?
Well,
Indians.
So much brother.
We talking about
There's
that?
a little bit close
Proximity of everything, you know.
Yeah, you probably gonna get somebody.
Now you in Korea, you gonna get a Korean.
No, we do gotta remember everybody
you
is
might
black.
get Kim Jong-un too.
I would probably do Iraq.
It's nothing. Level 2. It's nothing wrong with. Listen, real quick before we offend anybody that's watching, we're not saying we're talking about personal preference. So if you choose Korea or Iraq, it's not because you look down on the race. You said what you're attracted to.
I'm not attracted to Koreans, but I've seen some good-looking Muslim brothers. You know what I'm saying? So I would probably do something like that. Yeah.
All right. So a sex party now, it'll probably be terrible for you. They probably eat no box.
You might literally get fucked in the ass and then like.
And then shot.
Nobody said a disrespectful sex party. It's just a sex party.
No, but it's our rules. It's our rules. These sex party. Now the Asian. All right. So look, cool. It was up to me, right? I've never had a real passive woman. Right. I never had a real passive woman, and some of the stereotype. Fair or unfair for Asian women, right? Come on, guys. Come on. Don't have me looking like a racist out here, okay? Hold on. Is that they're more, Molly, she's Asian. Molly,
she's not North Korean.
She's Asian. I said Asian. I didn't say
North Korean. It's too different.
But I'm tired of it. North Korean, right? East Baltimore, West Baltimore, still black.
No, South Korea.
She might not even be Korean. Is she Korean?
Is she something like that?
No, you made it way more racist back. She's something like that. Okay,
listen, because I just meet her at her.
I would probably go and I would probably try Korean. I think I've never been with an Asian woman, right? And I think that'll be something intriguing. Remember the question was?
Well, for women, the women are beautiful. The men aren't. So y'all good because Asian women are beautiful.
That's not like a personal problem.
I'm Middle Eastern women are beautiful? Huh? You guys don't think Middle Eastern women are beautiful?
No. Listen.
They are.
Say that.
Middle Eastern women look to me.
The question was intrigued.
Intrigued.
All right, so I feel like I've been with an or someone close to that type of
right.
I've never been with anyone Asian, especially no Korean.
Why you ain't never been with a black?
He said that eat the hummus. This motherfucker said that eat the hummus. No crackers. Straight hummus.
Steve's so quiet there.
He over looking at beef patties or something. That was racist. Steve, I love you, baby.
That was so
I would go.
He was looking at reverse gangbangs and this shit again.
Oh shit.
I would go with North Korea. Hey, who else did
Marvin? Actually, I did decide to change my answer. I believe I would probably go with Iraq.
They do tie people up too.
We like that.
Gang.
Mr. With the shit.
What you got?
I'll tie you up. I'm not getting tied up.
No, I say for ears, Mr. With the shit's gang.
What you got, Denzel?
Mr. Ass Eater.
I don't know.
Nigga been on
They're like,
nigga
when
been
I
on
was
saying
thinking,
point
I'm
to the
like,
best
that's
ass
just
eater.
You wrote the question?
It's equally scary,
Oh.
right?
Yeah, they both scary.
No.
You ain't coming back.
Don't be no bitch though. But don't be no bitch.
Dennis Rodman came back.
Huh?
You don't think Dennis Rodman?
Because he's friends with Kim Jong-un.
He had a good time.
That nigga ain't coming back to North Korea.
Yo, you talking about some
Ain't no
mixed
regular
women?
nigga.
Koreans are probably let you do anything.
Why you keep saying some?
Well, I've seen some Korean. I've seen some Asian porn, and they get it.
They do get it in on the porn.
You know, 2 girls in 1 cup. Who's that from?
I never seen rock porn though.
Have you ever seen 2 girls in 1 cup? Anybody raise their hand? 2 girls in 1 cup. Have you ever
I
seen
want
that?
to listen.
Oh, real quick, we gotta touch on something.
That should
2 girls in
come
1
back
cup.
in my mind.
Have you seen 2 girls in 1 cup?
I think
did want
everybody's
to.
seen that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ain't no other race doing that.
Brazil.
That party I want.
But
I think Korea got it.
For women, it won't be not for us.
Yeah.
For a man, the Asian women are probably better for y'all.
Which party gonna smell like a good party?
Well, since I'm shitting in the Asian party.
Yo, the Asian brand smell better.
That was the last one?
None of them know. It's like gonna smell like ew.
Yeah, we got it.
Oh, that was it. All right,
Yes.
so
Yes.
we skipped the last question. First of all, let's give another hand clap for Kristina Promo. Listen, thank you for being so willing to be with our fucking with. You were very wild, very fun. We touched on some really cool topics. We talked about psychology and all the hard work you put in it.
No, he
On the
can't.
ass. On the
Real
ass.
quick one now. Can he pee on you?
No, he can't pee on me.
Can he beat on you?
No, he can't beat.
What are we doing
unless
right
he's
now?
choking me.
All right. Can he?
The slap. The 2 slap maximum.
If he no, that's not beating. That's a slap. If he's slapping me on my ass,
Can he dick smack your face?
Yes.
yeah, he could probably. Do
Okay. Can he dick smack your butt?
that. Of course.
All right. Will you suck his toes?
Stop,
Can
yo.
he suck your toes?
I'm tickling. It might feel good, but
Steve,
I'm
help
tickling.
him out, yo.
Can he bust in your chest?
He could buzz anyway.
All right, we got everything. Nice. Kristina Promo, give me your hand in real quick one more time. You right there.
Oh,
After
God.
that, I'm gonna do the closeout.
Do it.
All right, at Divine brand promos, Divine Bartending, and Kiss KB.
Fuckers did it, but not safe for you.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm gonna fuck you up real quick. Check this out.
Oh shit.
This shit disconnected when you get
Right when you do that.